When purchasing a flex shaft system, you have a number of options that are available to you. In our previous video, we talked about 3 of the different Foredom flex shafts that are available. Hi, I'm Melissa Muir, and in this video, I would like to introduce you to a number of hand pieces that can go along with those different flex shafts. And hopefully this information will help you pick the right one for you. When selecting a handpiece, your type of flex shaft is going to determine which kind you can use. In the case of my studio, I have what is called a keyed flex shaft. Now there are also 2 others that have a slip joint or a square shaft in here. And like I said, in this case, I have a keyed shaft, and that is what we are going to be demonstrating. Now, to go along with the key tips on our flex shaft, we have a very wide family of hand pieces that you can select from. These 3 hand pieces are all chuck style, and that means that they are going to accept different types of mandrels and different sizes. The first is by far the most popular. This is the number 30 hand piece, and it features a number 0 geared 3-jaw chuck. Now what that means that it's going to do is allow you to open up and close down in a varying degree depending on what it is that you're using. Now this is going to open up to 5/30 seconds, and it closes down to almost nothing at all. So you can hold the smallest of bits or drill bits or burrs in this particular handpiece. This one is also extremely versatile, as there are other tools that go along with it, including the drill press, the angle grinder, the belt sander, and also the handpiece holder. Now this next handpiece is very popular among wood carvers. This is the 44T, and what it comes with are 3 collets that you can then change out to use a number of different shank sizes, including the 3/32, 1/8, and 1/4 inches. To change your collets, there is a hole in the handpiece that you will line up with the hole on the interior. If you need to move it, just adjust here a little bit, and you will be able to insert that pin through. That's going to give you your leverage. You also have a wrench that will allow you to loosen or tighten the collet holder. Once it's loose enough, you can just unscrew this with your hand, pop out your collet, insert the new collet, and replace our cap, tighten that back up, insert your piece, and then you can continue to tighten to make sure everything is nice and secure. This next handpiece is very similar to the 44T, however, you can see that it is slightly smaller. It's a little more slender, and it only comes with 2 collets. In this case, you have a 3/32 and a 1/8 inch collet. There are other fractional collets available that you can purchase in addition to these, however, these 2 do come with this. Now, in the case of all 3 of these hand pieces, they have pre-lubricated ball bearings that do not require additional lubrication, so you should be good to go for a very long time. There are maintenance tips that you can follow, and those are included in the instructions that come with your handpiece, or you can download those on the Foredom website at any time. The next family of handpieces I have are the quick change handpieces. Now they are called a quick change handpiece because they only accept a 3/32 inch mandrel. Anytime you have one of these, you are going to always want to leave some kind of a burr or mandrel in these. There are 3 different quick change handpieces. The first one I'm going to introduce is the H18, and I also have the variety that has the Duplex Spring, the 18D. This handpiece works on a lever basis, so to remove or replace the burr or mandrel, I'm simply going to press the lever and then push the mandrel all the way down and then pull it out. Now sometimes people will get their burr stuck inside of this. If that ever happens, instead of continuing to pull it out, which will tighten the collet around your mandrel, just push it all the way down first and then remove the burr. Now the H18 does not require any additional lubrication, as it is pre-lubricated ball bearings. However, if you happen to have the Duplex Spring version, the 18D, there is a small hole back here by the Duplex Spring, and you are going to want to apply just 1 or 2 drops of oil into that, probably about once a week during usage. Now the next quick change handpiece is the H20. This also accepts 3/32 inch mandrels. It has a rotating lever action to change the accessories. Likewise, it already has pre-lubricated ball bearings and does not require any additional lubrication. Now the collet in here can also be replaced or adjusted if you find that it is not holding your accessory securely, and you can find your instructions included with the handpiece to do all of that. The H10 is similar in that it accepts only a 3/32 inch shank. It also has a rotating lever action to change your accessories, and the collet can be changed or adjusted to hold the burr or shank if not held securely. This handpiece features an all-metal construction, and it does require a little bit of lubrication. With those that require any lubrication, it is best to be sure to check out the instructions that come with your handpiece, or again, you can find those instructions online. In addition to the general use handpieces, we have some specialty handpieces. In this case, these are both a 15 or a 15D with the Duplex Spring. This is a hammer handpiece. This has a reciprocating action which hammers rather than rotates like what we have on some of the others. And it also will come with one head or anvil point, which is a tapered cylinder and flat at the top. There are other anvil points that are also available to you. Now you should keep in mind that when you get any of these anvil points, these are blanks. They are ready to be altered and polished to suit your needs. So just be aware you probably will have a little bit of work to do on these when you get them. Now to give you an idea of how these can be altered, this one was a very simple one where I just rounded the top with sandpaper, files, and then a final polish. Now in this case, this is one that I use for bezel setting, but I've also made other alterations where I grind the tips down quite a bit. To change out an anvil point, you simply unscrew it and you take the next anvil point and screw it back into place. If you find that you are not getting this tight enough, it comes with a little lever bar that you can then use to tighten, and if you need even more leverage, there's also a little wrench to help give that opposing pressure. One important thing about these hand pieces is this silver knob here in the middle, and this is going to change your stroke impact, and it can be adjusted from light to heavy. If you want to go heavier, you will turn this counterclockwise. If you want your stroke to be a little lighter, then you'll go clockwise. The hammer handpiece should be used at a low speed and never go over 5,000 RPM. This is an ideal handpiece for the LX motor from Foredom, as it has a max speed of 5,000. But even if you have the LX, I would highly suggest that you use a tabletop speed controller to help bring that speed down and give you a consistent hammering motion. Hammer handpieces are great for settings and decorative work. Now you've seen on a couple of my handpieces that there is a spring. Now not all of these handpieces come with a duplex spring, nor do they need them. However, if you find that you would like to use one, there are some specialty attachments that you can use. One of my favorite adapters is the Duplex Spring adapter. This allows you to take any handpiece, any normal handpiece, and convert it into one that has a duplex spring. To insert this, you're going to take the keyed tip and simply line it up with the notch inside your handpiece and push. Now that also comes with a slip joint, and that is going to be a lot more popular in Europe, and in the US we're going to have that keyed tip. Now things to keep in mind when you have a duplex spring, whether it comes on your handpiece or you use the adapter, couple things that you need to know. Duplex springs do not come with any warranties, and they are prone to breaking, and that is because a lot of times people will bend them too far. Your duplex spring should never bend more than 30 degrees. One thing to really note is that if you happen to have a quick change handpiece and a duplex spring, if you push down on this lever, it is meant to stop the spinning action inside of your handpiece itself. But if your motor is still going, it's going to twist and break that duplex spring, and your handpiece will then be lost. When it comes to inserting a handpiece on your flex shaft, you have a couple of options. Inside, there is a notch that is cut out on the inside of your handpiece that is going to allow this little key right here to fit inside. So you can line those two up, push and snap them together. Now to remove a handpiece, I'm going to hold on to this little bit right here at the end of the handpiece, and I'll hold on to the handpiece and pull. Now another thing that I like to do that is very, very quick is simply push on my pedal just to get my tip spinning ever so slightly, and then I'll insert that until I can tell that it's latched, and then I can push. Now one last thing, how do you store your handpieces? When you are using these with your flex shaft, and one of the most common ways right now is to just hang your flex shaft so that the shaft is hanging down as well as your handpiece. Now if you do this, just know that there is a very real possibility of the grease coming down from your flex shaft and into the bearings of your handpiece, which can cause damage. Now people have done it for years. Now the more proper way would be to hang your flex shaft handpiece like this, and that most motors have a flex shaft hanger where you can do that. You just want to be careful not to get too tight of a curve right here on your flex shaft. Now in my studio, I like to keep them on little pegs, and that is going to keep them within arm's reach for me. It makes it easy for me to swap out the handpieces depending on the job that I am doing. Now another thing that you want to be aware of is that if you take your flex shaft and you just let it drop, take care not to let this hit other surfaces, as this can easily become damaged and makes it difficult to get into your handpiece. Now that we've gone through some of the different handpieces, I hope that helps answer some of your questions and maybe even helps you pick a handpiece that might be right for you. As always, if you have questions, just drop us a line and we'll be happy to get back to you.